7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes, everybody, good morning. I'm back. I'm not hungover anymore. I don't think so anyway. Yesterday was a little bit brutal, but we got through it. We soldiered through it. And we're here today to talk about, well, everything Manchester United, all the latest news from the last 24 hours. I'm going to run through with you, as I do every single morning at 9:30. Now, there may not be any football for Manchester United past Sheriff on Thursday following the postponement of Leeds. After our game against Palace was postponed, it means our next Premier League game, it's not until the 2nd of October. And it's going to be City away. It means there's going to be a month between our... You've got Palace being postponed, then you've got Leeds being postponed, and then you've got an international break. 1, 2, 3, 4. All on top of each other. Who's down here in the comments this morning? Lots of you joining in. We've got Nidzam watching from Malaysia. How you doing, buddy? Mark Davis, Seth Benedict. There's always new names in here. And it's because people are being so generous by gifting memberships to the community and just bringing new people in. It's wicked. All good morning to you, buddy. You're the king gifter. I think you've gifted like 100 plus now. You're mad. You still married? Hope so. Neil Driscoll, Charlie Hughes, good morning to you. Cornish Maid, Mark, Steve Hawk, Bart. Just so many of you. Matt Stan, Chinedu. Good morning to all of you. I imagine over the next few weeks, there'll be less of you tuning in. Having covered and the Man United in terms of the website and the YouTube channel for a long time now, there's peaks and troughs. And I imagine that football, the interest in football will sort of like, it's all going to peter out for a little bit whilst there's a big break. But I'm going to take this opportunity to have the wider conversations that I enjoy having here on United People's TV. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of content on the Glazers. There's one particular video, I'll give you a little sneaky preview here, that I want to work on. The redevelopment of Old Trafford is a massive, massive thing that has to happen, right? I want to do a bit of a deep dive and a bit of research because I know basics about the story, about how the Glazers funded the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' new stadium, because I'm pretty sure that they threatened to take the entire franchise away from Tampa Bay, which forced the local council into paying for a substantial chunk of it. And I want to cover that news and get the insight and knowledge into that. But if there's any other sort of ideas for content you'd like me to cover, as I said, at 12 p.m. today, I'm going to have my Sheriff starting 11 video going out. We're going to have the game on Thursday. Past that game on Thursday, we're going to have a couple of weeks where we can focus on wider talking points that maybe you don't get the opportunity to speak about when you've got so many games coming out. If you've got any ideas, my DMs are always open on Twitter and on Instagram, so make sure you fire them over. Something I think is quite exciting today. I could show you a little teaser for some of the merchandise design. I've been working on the merchandise with a designer for a long, long time. But if we can get 1,000 likes in this video, I've never done it. I don't think I ever do like targets. I'm going to do one now. And I'm going to keep the video open on YouTube so I can see it and see how close we get. If we can get to 1,000 likes before the end of the live stream, then I'll show you a sneak preview of one of the designs. There you go. It's a challenge for everybody. Shane, good morning to you as well. DJ, you're on holiday on my holiday in Mauritius. United won all their matches. As soon as I come back, they lost. Maybe I should stay on holiday in Mauritius. Get to the airport, mate. Come on. Hurry up. How about the F1? Yeah, look. F1, look. There you go. Thomas coming up with an idea here. Maybe an update video on the loan players. That's it. Any ideas like that, lads and ladies, fire them over to me on Twitter or Instagram or however you're doing it, because I won't be able to keep track of everything that's happening. Mate, Gungshi down here straight away. Honestly, Gungshi, one of the biggest heroes on this channel. Gungshi and Smoke, if I remember. Your cat is called Smoke. See if I remember that correctly. Gifting 10 memberships to people. Wonderful, man. Even when football's not here, the community itself, I really cannot wait to do sort of live community events. It's something I'm definitely working towards. It's something I'd absolutely want to do right. I wouldn't just want to do quickly. In the same way with merchandise. I've probably been a bit slow with the merchandise. But I personally think it's going to be worth the wait once it comes out. I think so anyway. But today, speaking of things that have come out, we've got the latest episode of the podcast, Season 2, Episode 7. We talk about Palace and Leeds. And this one's a bit of a slightly different one because it was fun, actually. We reminisced about quite a few of the European away stories. Me, Alex, and Bal have been to quite a few places together. We've watched United in Spain, in Holland, in Italy, in France. We've done it in quite a few places, and we've got some serious stories. So if you want to listen to that, it's a good one. And I'm actually going to start a segment on the podcast now where I'd like you to send me your stories from either European away games or United away games. It can be whatever the story. Every single week on the podcast, I'm going to have a segment now. It's like the away day stories, because I think they're fantastic. So look, please, if you would, listen to the podcast. I'll leave the link in the comments here. I do work really hard. I constantly work hard. And the podcast is something I'm very proud of, the fact that we got started. But look, that's the link to the podcast down there. It's, of course, free to listen to, no matter where you listen to it. Spotify, Apple, Google, Deezer. I don't know where else you can listen to podcasts. But please, the link is down there. Make sure you go and have a listen. Let's go down here and see how many likes we're on so far. See if we've got people liking the video straight away. What are we at? We're at 193. We might be able to make it, I think. We might. Mate, Warren, even Warren's jumping in with 10 as well. Mate, Warren, Warren and Gungshi and Orr and every single one of you, you keep doing it. Every single day this happens. It genuinely, it blows me away. Jordan saying that I was gifted a membership. Welcome aboard, Jordan. Anybody who is gifted memberships, please make sure you come into the Telegram community. And if anybody's got some suggestions on how I can make that Telegram community better and more engaging for you, again, my DMs are always open. I want to make it as good as possible. Jonathan saying, I'm sure is it Intercity Jibbers? I think they were called ICJs. I love away days. Away days are great fun. I really, really do. But look, let's get this podcast. Let's get this show on the road today. And unfortunately, we've got to speak on this, really. Manchester United's game against Leeds, that has been postponed. Yep. We had confirmation yesterday from Manchester United, from Greater Manchester Police, and from the Premier League as well, that it won't be going ahead. The reason it's not going ahead, as simply put, is to do with police numbers. Greater Manchester Police, they are getting redirected down to London for the funeral on the Monday. Of the two weekends, it's this game, I sort of, there's more logic to the postponement of this game. I still question it somewhat and a little bit, if I'm being completely honest, considering games against Brentford and games for Brentford and Spurs are both going ahead in London. But because Leeds and Man United is a Category A game in the same way that Chelsea and Liverpool is a Category A game, the bigger games per se, it means that they've postponed the game. Now, last week, I personally, and again, this is a personal thing, I disagreed with the postponement of the Premier League last weekend. I thought it was odd. It was down as a mark of respect, but golf went ahead completely respectfully. Rugby went ahead, rugby union, rugby completely respectfully. Cricket went ahead completely respectfully. I think it was the Premier League effectively as a brand, and we spoke about this on the podcast, they kind of shat themselves. They went, no, we'd rather just postpone it, just in case there's someone who does something bad, just in case there's someone who ruins it for everyone, and they didn't want that. And I think that's the only reason why it didn't go ahead. Tyler, you're down saying, look, Sam, isn't it a blessing in disguise? It would give the players another month for them to understand Erik Ten Hag's system. Tyler, there is a video that will be going out tomorrow. F1 went ahead too. Yeah, you're spot on there, Charlie. But that was in Monza. So it's kind of a little bit different rather than UK based. I'm going to have a video out tomorrow because there's a lot of reasons to be frustrated with all these postponements. But there are genuinely some silver linings and some benefits. And I'm going to run through those in a video tomorrow. Today, I'm going to do my Sheriff starting 11. Tomorrow, I'm going to do that video. And as I said, any other video ideas you've got like this, it's a community. Fire them in. If they're a good idea, I'll run with it. I don't just want to now for the next 2 weeks just be focusing on, I don't know, non-points. I want to do content that still, I think, resonates and still has a purpose and informs. That's what I'll still try and do. Let's see how we're doing on the old likey's. We're at 280. We're already a quarter of the way there. Look at that. We're only a quarter of the way through the show. We might be getting a sneak preview of the merchandise if you can get to 1,000 likes by the end of the video. But I spoke yesterday about sort of Ten Hag. We had a nice in-depth chat about the control that he's had on and off the pitch. And you'll remember that there's one thing that I said about Erik Ten Hag that I feel no manager post Fergie has had. And I called it balance. I said Mourinho was somebody, and the balance I'm talking about is respect and control. Now, Mourinho had loads of control, and I think he had a little bit, he definitely had the respect, but he quickly lost that respect because he went too hard on the control, and it snapped. Solskjaer, I think, had a ton of respect, but no control. Ragnick, I don't think had any respect to those players, and I don't particularly think he had much control as a consequence. He was a supply teacher. It was difficult for him. Erik Ten Hag is the first person that's going to be right there in control, having a balance between control and respect. And I think it's working for him. Or you're down here saying, look, why not play the game behind closed doors? It seems favoritism by the FA and the Premier League. The schedules are already congested enough with the World Cup in December. I don't personally think the idea of doing it behind closed doors is even a possibility. That would mean a refund, first of all, for every single person. I mean, that's not the end of the world, but I don't think playing the game behind closed doors. No, I don't personally think that's it, especially after everything we just have after COVID. Jesus, I don't think that's. I don't personally think that is the thing. Jack, you're saying that there's nothing good to come from these games being postponed. The pile-up's going to be bad. The pile-up will be horrible. The pile-up really, really is going to be horrendous. We've already got 9 games in October. We've got the World Cup in November. So it was already going to be busy. I think there's only, I need to do my research into this. I think there's only 3 midweek empty slots post-January for Man United. Because the games are piled up. And that doesn't even take into account the fact that we might get into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the League Cup, which might take away a couple of those. It's going to get busy, man. It's going to get busy. And the fact that we've now lost these 2 games as well, I have no idea. Alex said it on the podcast yesterday, and I actually think it was a really good idea. You're effectively looking at the fact that we're going to have to delay the end of the season by like 2 weeks. We're going to have to make the season longer. That would probably be a realistic way of fitting everything in. Because I just don't think you've got enough time, really. Enough time. Ben, that's a nice long comment from Ben. That's what I'm going to read that out for. Read that out for? Sam, Ben, he's saying, Sam, love your channel here. Nice to see you, buddy. Saying, we'd love to hear your opinion on potential players we could start looking into in the next transfer market. I think we need to start learning from a team like City about recruitment in terms of finding the right profile and not buy overpriced. It's a really good comment there, mate. Fire that to me on Twitter or Instagram so I don't forget about it and I'll note it down as an idea. But yeah, I'm going to be taking a look at I've called this phase 1 of Erik Ten Hag's rebuild. Antony, Casemiro, Eriksen, Malacia, and Martinez. Stage 1, V1. Stage 2, what's that? Now, I think we all know that a centre forward is going to be high up on that list. I would probably say a backup right back high up on that list. And I would also say a deeper line playmaker very high up on that list. So who do you think will be involved in stage 2? That's going to be a video I'm going to do at some point. It's going to be a good one. But look, going back to what I was saying about Erik Ten Hag. A story came out from Samuel Luckhurst about an hour after we finished our live yesterday morning, saying this. Just a couple of nice little snippets on it. It says, Ten Hag has been described as unforgiving of poor professionalism, sloppiness or lack of effort, and his decisiveness with team selections has been welcomed by some players who felt misled by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Charles, you're down there saying thank you very much to whoever gave you the membership. That would be either Warren or Gungshi, the two Gs of the channel, not OG. Yeah, just proper OGs. Just great guys. Great guys. But yeah, this has been Ten Hag since day one. This isn't a consequence of what happened against Brighton and Brentford. We've seen it the whole way through the preseason. It's why I personally felt really confident going into the season. And then the players, they collapsed under the pressure of the Premier League in the first 2 games. But yeah, Ten Hag's done a lot of things right. And Ten Hag's response to the Brentford game probably has cemented we talk about the idea of the respect that Ten Hag's got inside that dressing room. I think he's gained so much respect from his reaction to the Brentford defeat. Not only from joining in with the players on that 13.8 kilometre run, but dropping Ronaldo, dropping Maguire, dropping Shaw, sticking to his guns, switching the team up and getting 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row as a consequence of it. Because respect is something that's earned as well. So they probably respected him for the fact that he joined in with them, but he also respected the fact that his changes created these wins, created the conditions for Man United to turn around. And that's where a big thing about respect as well. Kahal, you've also got a membership down there. Look at that, man. So many new names. So many. And Gary, look, lots of stars flying in over on Facebook as well. Gary, I wish I could see the stars a little bit more. It's just the platform I use doesn't give me the sort of insight to see it on there, but the community everywhere. I want to start giving back to more. I want to start doing more and more and more for the community, because the community is growing to such a size that I feel like I need to give more back to it. I'll start doing some more giveaways. I've still got some more shirts down here. I already did a giveaway last week. A giveaway is a bit of an easy way to do it, but it's, I've got to do what I've got to do. Alfred just saying, look, getting them to run after the Brentford is like the hairdryer treatment. I don't think Fergie ever ran 14 kilometers. It's a very different sort of treatment. It's a collective. It's building that collective. Like, not only is Ten Hag the sort of, he's not like the angry lieutenant who's like standing at the sidelines just telling you what to do. He's like, well, fuck, you failed. I failed as well then. Cool. Let's do it together. And that's something that massively, massively helped. But going into a little bit more insight into this article, I like this little snippet. Antony and Casemiro are understood to have increased the intensity in Man United's training and competition for places. Absolutely, man. They absolutely have. And it's why I've look, that Martial interview that came out, he's effectively, Martial is the, I suppose, an anomaly, because typically competition for places is what drives improvement, drives complacency away from a team. With Martial, competition, Man United bringing in different number 9s, Ibrahimovic, Alexis Sanchez, everything else that went on, actually worked backwards for him. But competition for places is what drives that internal competition every day in training. You want to be on the winning side of a five-a-side game in training. You want to make sure that you do everything to impress the manager. And new faces with new hunger. It's, again, I've had to apply so many cliches when speaking about United over these last, I mean, sod knows how long. I've forgotten now. I really have forgotten. Just the basics, the utter basics have just not been there. And Casemiro coming in, I imagine that is a significant mental reason as to why we're seeing a different McTominay. I don't particularly believe in coincidence. I think occasionally there are coincidences in life, but I don't think McTominay playing absolutely out of his skin so soon after Casemiro joining is a coincidence. McTominay has got the self-awareness that goes, oh shit, if I don't flip it up and switch right now, I'm probably not going to play much for Manchester United anymore. It's on me to change that. And he has changed that. He's played magnificent. Kind of makes you go, why weren't he playing like that before? But that's what competition does. It drives like a 10% part of you that you didn't quite know was there, that was a level that you didn't quite know you had, until that competition forces it out of you. And as I said, I don't think it's a coincidence that McTominay's playing this good after Casemiro's arrival. Jaden, do you think we have a chance on the Napoli new guy next summer? Do you mean Osimhen? I don't know whether you mean Osimhen or not. We were in there. Tyler, you're saying, I believe Scott is Ten Hag's De Jong project. I kind of think that's Fred. Scott is not Ten Hag. Sorry, Scott is not De Jong in any way, shape, or form. I think the only De Jong project is De Jong. He talked about he made it clear quite a lot during the summer that if he didn't get the player he wanted, he would rather sort of build from within. McTominay certainly improved. I think Eriksen is basically stepping into the... It's unfair of me to say that. The idea of stepping into the shadow of De Jong, because there is no shadow for De Jong. He's never been here. Eriksen is the one casting the shadow on everybody else. But Eriksen has stepped in to that De Jong role and just done it so brilliantly. And you're saying, look, I don't think it's Casemiro. I think it's Eriksen. His outlet has simplified his role now. And that's a big, big thing. It's a fair point there, Ant. It's clarity on roles. Clarity on roles. McTominay knows exactly what he's doing now. Eriksen knows exactly what he's doing now. Bruno knows exactly what he's doing now. And having that clarity, it's like you going into work one day and you think you know what you're supposed to be doing, but all of a sudden you're doing something completely different. He goes, that wasn't my role. Why am I doing that? Why are we doing it? It's a bit weird. It would make it difficult for you to achieve your job. Having that clarity on role comes from management, comes from understanding a system. And because we've got this system in, Cornish, you're saying, look, can't remember Martial being so happy and smiling. Look, we spoke about Martial in the podcast this week in quite a bit of detail. And we're all in the same boat. We're all willing and just, crossing our fingers that he nails it this season. Because we know full well that if he doesn't, then it's Martial's gone. That is it. That is like finito. There is no coming back from a poor season from Martial. But judging from what we saw in pre-season, fantastic. Different. So it felt different. He looked different. He looked physically different. And if he was playing with an injury for that long, then it would explain quite a lot. Because he really did just look like a different player altogether. You're like, what has gone on with Martial? It's so weird. And we spoke about the interview and whether or not Ten Hag would see it as a positive thing, whether he would sort of be affronted by it. I don't think he will particularly be affronted by it. I just think it's a very, very honest interview from Martial. He's sort of getting rid of his grievances from previous administrations, from Mourinho and from Solskjaer, and say, right, okay, that's done. Let's move on. Clean slate. I just hope he comes back. And look, if you're looking at a positive from this postponement, Antony Martial may well be your positive. Because if we had played these games against Palace and Leeds, we would have had to do it with I would say a 50% fit Ronaldo. Maybe Marcus Rashford could have played through there. That could have been a possibility. But there really are some, I think there are some, I wouldn't say they're positives from postponement. I would say silver linings. And I'm trying to look for the silver linings because I think there are some. Let me go down here and see what you're saying in the comments. Nystro saying, first time actually watching you live after watching it after you stopped being live for months. But look, welcome back. Welcome aboard, my friend. Scott was in tears after training in Melbourne. He was dropped immediately from the squad. I don't know what that was about. Antony saying, look, Eriksen reminds me of Pirlo in some respects. And Matt, what's going on? He always somehow seems to have time and space on the ball. Dude, the thing with Eriksen is just when you watch him, it's like Scholes. Is that his head's on an axle. He's never just looking ahead. He'll just give... And the best example, not of Eriksen of doing it, but recently was Kevin De Bruyne away at Sevilla when he fired in the cross for Haaland's first goal. And you just watch it. Kevin De Bruyne is running the side of the box and just quickly, just split second, looks in the box. Just one look and he knows exactly where Haaland is. Puts it on a plate for him. Eriksen's got that awareness. That's why Eriksen having so much space every time he receives the ball is, again, not a coincidence. It's because he's got like a radar. It's like Metal Gear Solid. He knows exactly where all the guards are. He knows where their visibility pattern is. Visibility pattern? Where their viewing circle is. Where not to walk. Where to walk. And exactly where to put himself to give himself the best possibility of bringing the ball forward. His IQ is off the scale, really, compared to all the players around him. Really, really is. How are we doing on the like target? What we're doing down here? We're on 454. We're halfway there. I reckon we can make it. If we get to 1,000 by the end of the stream, I'm going to give you a preview of one of the first parts of a design that I'm working on that I think is going to be very, very sexy. I mean, it will be very, very sexy. I'm so excited to launch some merchandise. I know so many of you have been calling out for it for a long, long time, but I've got to be completely honest in me saying I think a lot of football merchandise that is out there is cheap, it's tacky, and it's something that you might wear to the game or you might wear in bed. There's no way that you would go down to the pub to wear it. There's no way that you would just go for a drink, go out on a Saturday afternoon wearing it. That's what I want to do with this merchandise, is create something that You know it's United related if you're a United fan, but other than that, it just looks damn cool. And that's what I want to try and do. Metal Gear Solid, man. I absolutely love Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, one of my favorite games. Raiden. Yeah, man. I used to play games all the time. I've got no time to play games anymore. Too busy making top tier content. Shane, yeah, absolutely. It will be worldwide once it comes out. Chris is saying, look, not a lot of viewers today because of no games. It's what happens, man. It's what happens. And I know that's going to happen, but we'll still be here. I'll still be here every single day. So make sure you don't go away. If you are a member or a subscriber, just stay involved. I found this little snippet on training sessions quite interesting yesterday. Ten Hag has overseen wrong-footed training sessions with members of United's squad. He's placed an emphasis on strengthening the weaker foot of certain players in drills conducted after the squad's main sessions. And we saw this basically on day one of preseason. You remember that video that went around? I think it was Scott McTominay in the middle, receiving the ball on one. He was in the middle, passed to him. He passed back, then turned around, did the same move backwards. So he was using left foot, then right foot, left foot, then right foot. And the concept of that is to make sure that every single United player, no matter what the scenario is, no matter where they are on the pitch, they can receive the ball on whatever foot and be able to do it with confidence, pass it off. And it's definitely working. This, I think, is the thing that's going to take the longest in the process, is playing it out from the back with the ball with like utter confidence. We saw it against Leicester. Remember that little 6-7 pass? I think it was like Elanga to McTominay to Eriksen to Martinez to Bruno. One touch, one bang, 1-1-1. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And that, I think, is probably going to take the longest to sort of really drum into the players. I think they understand the system now. I think they understand what he wants him to do. But you'll know that the only reason we've won these 4 games in a row in the Premier League is because Ten Hag's been pragmatic. It's not because we're playing it out from the back beautifully. We've switched it and we started playing it long because he's realised he's not been stubborn. And stubbornness is something that's taken down a couple of United managers recently. Stubbornness took Solskjaer down. In fact, I would say stubbornness has been a big part of taking every single manager down. Ten Hag has his system, but instead of being like stuck in his system and saying, no, you will play it out from the back with the ball until you get it right, he goes, okay, you can't do it right now. So let's step back from it. Let's do something else, and then we'll reintroduce it. Phil, you're right. If you're a professional footballer, I mean, literally having 2 feet is a given. Be a bit weird if you didn't. But being able to use 2 feet, it should be a given as a professional footballer. But it's not a lot of the time at all. But that's something that he wants to absolutely change. Ray, you're down there saying, look, McLaren mentioned how Ten Hag's how Ten Hag addresses and his attention to details is top notch. And he's not afraid to change. Look, what Ten Hag's doing so far, man, I'm loving it. I really am. Those first 2 games against Brighton and Brentford, I think, were... He's learned 2 lessons so far as Man United manager. One was those first 2 lessons. One was those first 2 games against Brighton and Brentford. He goes, okay, for the Premier League is, I mean, it probably was a little bit more intense than he expected. Even though he was expecting it to be intense, I don't think he would have expected that, because that's like the equivalent of going against, I don't even know, 2 mid-table, like Groningen and what, Twente, maybe, in the Eredivisie. Just 2 teams that, they're kind of like mid-table teams. Coming and absolutely blasting Ajax away at home and blasting them away from home 4-0. Be like, what's going on there? He learned from that, responded, and those 4 wins in a row, including Liverpool and Arsenal. And then the second lesson he learned was Real Sociedad, which I don't think is going to be a result that that should hamper our progress in the Europa League. It does mean we're going to have to win our games in the build-up to that Sociedad game and now beat Sociedad away from home, but that's on these players. That's their fault for fucking up. I think across the 6 games, we'll still be happy. And remember this, by the way, if Man United finish second in our Europa League group, to qualify for the knockout stages, we're going to have to beat one of the 3rd-placed finishers from the Champions League in a straight knockout game, I believe, which would be an extra... It would be an extra game. And that's that's the last thing we need. Mike, I didn't miss a super chat. Thank you very much for reminding me all. You're saying this. Oh, it's you again. It's you again. Mike, just went in there. Or I'm going to have to start banning your IP. Actually, no, because I keep catching you out. You keep wasting the super chats. But Mike, you're saying for me, Eriksen has been the best signing for us so far. Eriksen has given the defense an outlet. He's calm on the ball and has great footballing IQ. You're trying to make me trip up so much, man. And I'm still not sure if you've actually made me trip up properly. But Eriksen, back to the point. Yeah, you would try. Well, you weren't even trying to make that point. But look, I love Christian Eriksen. I might have to do a separate video on Christian Eriksen. There's loads of things I want to do videos on. As I said, when you do have the time to step back from the football a little bit, it allows you to be a little bit more analytical, to take a little bit of a look at separate points, and sometimes more important points that kind of get glossed over because there's so many games coming thick and fast. You don't have the opportunity to step back and have those combos. I think so anyway. Hip Hop, you're saying, Sam, merch, we can help. Who do we contact? There's no help needed. I'm working on it. I have been working on it for a long time. I'm hopefully, a little teaser here, I'm hopefully going to be launching in October. That's going to be the aim. Fingers crossed anyway. I saw this yesterday, by the way, and this is one of my favorite pictures I've seen for a long, long time. That was up at Mount Kilimanjaro at the peak. 2 United fans up there. And look at that. How fucking good is that? Glazers out banner at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, being shouted from the rooftops at Old Trafford and now being shouted from the rooftops of the world. It's a fantastic photo. It's really got me thinking. I need to, if anybody can help with this, this would be cool. What I want to do is try and organize a way to get stickers produced and maybe get sent out to you so we can get United People's TV stickers put anywhere in the world. We can get Glazers out stickers. Imagine that as part of an not an advertising campaign, but I suppose it effectively is an advertising campaign. Getting Glazers out stickers and just putting it. We've got a Glazers out banner there now at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. Imagine if you united the fan base around the world, and you got somebody in New York to slap one on the Empire State Building. You got someone in San Francisco to put one on the Golden Gate Bridge. You got someone who's living in Florida to go and slap one on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium. And you can create this gallery of Glazers out stickers on all the big landmarks around the world. Now, wouldn't that be fantastic? I'd love to be involved in doing that, and that would be a great thing to sort of mobilize the global fan base. It's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. But if you can help me do that, slide into my DMs. That's something we can maybe organize together. Isn't that vandalizing? Nah, not really. Jonathan there, fair point, needs to be recyclable. Yep, we can do that. Make sure it's absolutely eco-friendly and sustainable. But that's a good one. I enjoyed that. I really did enjoy that. A kind of a separate point here completely. Actually, before we move on to this separate point, let's see how we're doing on the light target. I think we're going to reach it by the end of the video. I've got a good feeling about you. You never let me down. 550. So we need 450 more likes on the video, and we can get you a little sneak preview of one of the designs. All right. So 450. Make sure you drop a like on the video. What you're saying down here. There you go. Slap one in Bankstown train station in Australia. We'll do it everywhere. We'll do it absolutely everywhere. Saw this, and I thought this was a little bit of a strange, kind of a strange thing for Fabrizio Romano to say, really. He's saying it was never close between United and Bellingham in the past. They were interested alongside many other clubs, including Premier League sides and Juve, but he only wanted Dortmund. I mean, we literally invited Jude Bellingham and his mum and his dad to Carrington. Fergie went there. Fergie met him. I think we did everything. Everything. So to say that we were never close for him, I mean, I think that's slightly disingenuous, if I'm being completely honest. Maybe we were never close in the fact that he just literally never wanted any other club, and he was just going around all the other clubs to just see what everybody else was offering. But we really, really did try. We really, really did try. Josh, I'm not sure what you mean there when you say how much would a Martinez shirt be worth. And you're saying it down here. You're saying I'm losing patience. Look, all credit to, and I've said this quite a few times. I don't begrudge anybody who's successful in any way, shape, or form. But Romano, since he's got the platform and exploded, the reason Romano's voice really cut through previously was because of the quality of it. And the quantity wasn't always there. It was just when he spoke, it was just like bang on the money, bang on the money, bang on the money. And he still has that power when he brings out the here we go. I'm not sure he's missed yet. Or what team was it? Was it Brighton, I think, that said it was a Cucurella one, was it? I think it was. Anyway. And it ended up being correct anyway, eventually. I think Romano's he speaks so often now and so much that you lose a bit of the power in your voice. A little bit. And he does speak a hell of a lot now. Gavin is saying that stickers, pick me, Sam, we can get them all over the world. Yeah, as I said, I've been thinking about this for a long, long time, but I haven't quite figured out the best way to do it. Just to be able to get stickers produced, I wouldn't be looking to make money off it, just kind of facilitate a way for everybody to buy Glazers Out stickers that go around the world and just build a campaign up where all of a sudden you've just got this catalogue of all the big landmarks in the world and they've all got a Glazers Out sticker on it. Maybe a United People's TV sticker on it as well. It can be something that our community can take ownership of and say, right, okay, this is something that we've all wanted to try and do together. Let's do this. Let's go to the Adidas HQ. Slap it on the Adidas HQ. Let's go to TeamViewers HQ. Slap it on TeamViewers HQ. Imagine that. That'd be great. That would be really good. I think it's a cool idea, and it's something we can work on. But speaking about Christian Eriksen, Mike, since you sent in your super chat earlier, we can talk about Eriksen again. He's saying, look, Brentford wanted me to stay, but I would say where I'm in my career, I had the opportunity to step up to what I had dreamed of and hoped for. I wanted to kickstart my career by coming to an even bigger club, and I succeeded. It's big. What he's done has been fantastic. It really is. He goes, United is one of the biggest clubs in the world. And for me, it was redemption after what had happened earlier. And like proving that you could get an offer from United, it was great. Mate, Eriksen, I think everybody down here, I'll be interested to know down here, right? If you were to say one signing that you think's been the most influential so far this season, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Eriksen or is it going to be Martinez? Who would you say has been the more important signing for Manchester United? Have a little think about it before you put it in. Or I'll try and gauge what the percentage is down here in the comments, because I think there's fair arguments for both of them. Eriksen's been so involved in how we've controlled games and how we've played as a football team. But Martinez has brought in a brand new look to our whole defensive setup. We kept 2 clean sheets in a row, even when our backs were against the wall. Both of them have been incredibly, incredibly important. Now, Jonesy, I think Malacia has been fantastic, but I think that Eriksen and Martinez are just on a different level. I think they're on the tier above. I just think they've been that influential that they're separate to the other signings at this particular moment in time. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments then. Hip Hop, you're going Martinez. Jonathan, you're going Eriksen, Martinez, Eriksen, Martinez. I'm saying, look, I would say the majority of you down here, I would probably say 75-25. 75-25 for Martinez. There's quite a few of you saying Eriksen, but a lot of you saying Martinez. It's just, I tell you what, man, whether it's Eriksen, whether it's Martinez, as Neil says down there, whether it's both, it doesn't really matter. Just what is good is that we've actually seen Man United signings come into Man United, hit the ground running, and make a difference. And actually genuinely make a difference. It's just not something we've seen that often. We've seen so many misses in the transfer market, so many misses, that it really stands out how good both of them have been. It really has been fantastic. Let me see where we're at now. I think we're going to get close now. 636. We only need less than 400 likes. We can get that preview for the end of the live stream. Hell, I might even do it anyway because I'm feeling generous. But look, the game goes ahead on Thursday, our last game for 17 days. Training pictures were released yesterday. You got Antony there, Ronaldo, Varane, Fred. Who's that back there? I don't know who that is. Is that Cobby? It might be. And that's Garnacho there hiding at the back. There's the main man himself. There's the other main man himself. Weird, actually. I forgot I had these two there. I'm sorry for anybody who says Eriksen in the comments, but I think you would have seen the video I did yesterday on Martinez. This dude's captain. This dude's captain, I would probably say before the end of the season. I think Erik Ten Hag dropping Harry Maguire has shown that he's not afraid to do that. Maybe he just won't take the captaincy away from Maguire because it's not really a conversation anymore, is it? But Martinez, man. Martinez for me has brought something that we've just missed for so long that I can't quite explain in words. It's just, I suppose it's like an X factor. And I don't mean that in sort of like the attacking sense. It's like an X factor to this defense. That's what Martinez is and has. He's the example. He's the leader. He's the character. He's the personality. He's the quality. He's somebody who's come in under like intense criticism. He's only 5'9". He's going to be shit. And he's just 2 fingers to Jamie Carragher, slapping him upside the head, saying, well, you're an idiot for jumping that early on me. But thank you very much for the fuel I needed. He's been absolute. That's a really good word there from Zigzag. That's a new name down there. You must have been gifted a membership, sir. A commanding presence. It's exactly what he is. I think down here again, yes, Gungshi, man. Gungshi is there, giving another 5 memberships. Seriously. Dons of the channel. They're all lieutenants of the channel. All of you. It's fantastic. Ashley, you're saying down here, would you take the captaincy away from Bruno and give it to Martinez? Absolutely no. Remember, Bruno's not captain. Bruno's vice captain. The only reason that Bruno is wearing the armband is because Maguire's not on the pitch. I wouldn't take vice captaincy away from Bruno in any way, shape, or form. I actually think Bruno's been playing quite well this season. It's whether or not Ten Hag would want to have the officialness, I suppose, of taking that armband away from Maguire and giving it to Martinez. Because that could and probably would have a negative mental effect on Maguire, maybe in the short term. Maybe in the long term, I personally think that in the long term, it would help him. He obviously cannot cope with the captaincy of Manchester United and the extra scrutiny it brings. But Martinez, oh my God, he's such a good player. He really is such a good player. That's why I was willing enough to do that video on him yesterday. What else we got? Oh, we've got Ronaldo and Casemiro here, who, if I'm being honest, again, if I'm looking at silver linings, for this postponement and break, I think there's 2 of them. I think Ronaldo's effectively, randomly, been given a nice little bit of preseason. Just work on that fitness, man. Keep working on it. Unfortunately, he's going to be going away with Portugal for the international break, but maybe that's, again, he'll be playing minutes, he'll be playing games, he'll be getting fitter, and I think Ronaldo should come back after the international break a little bit sharper. And I tell you what, he will have to, because going away with Portugal for the international break will make him remember and realize, fuck, I've got my last World Cup coming up where I think I can probably compete with the best. He's going to be 41, 42 the next World Cup that comes around. This is it, Ronnie. If you're going to win the World Cup in your career and add that to the Euros with Portugal, it's going to have to be now, which means it should mean that by the time he comes back, we should have a different Ronaldo. I think mentally he's still there. Physically, he's not been quite there. But I think Ronaldo will benefit from the break. And I think Casemiro will benefit from the break too. I think he'll benefit from a little bit more time embedding in. I think it's taken him a little bit of time to settle. I think that's a fair way to describe it. But again, if I'm looking at silver linings, I'm looking at both of them. What else we got over here? I can't remember who else we got. I think that is Cobby. I'm presuming that is. Anyone in the comments, let me know who that is. I think that's Cobby Manu. Ronaldo over there. Zidane. I don't think he'll be I'll be honest. Speaking of the game on Thursday, I really, really think that we're going to be seeing like a full strength team from Erik Ten Hag. I really think that Manchester United, I don't see a reason why Manchester United don't just play a full team. It is Kobe Mania. Yeah, thank you very much. I thought I was right. There's no reason. We didn't play against Palace. We didn't play against Leeds. And we had done a game for 17 days. Effectively, we're looking at this game now on Thursday as a Premier League game. I think it should just be absolute straight up top 11. And you're saying this down in the comments. You're saying that I'd love to know what influence Ronaldo's having behind the scenes. I think Ronaldo's going to be having a lot of positive influence behind the scenes, right? I don't think I've never suggested here on United People's TV that he's been a negative person behind the scenes. I've judged Ronaldo on what I'm seeing on the football pitch, and it's like, that is not Ronaldo. Well, that is Ronaldo, but that's a 37-year-old Ronaldo. He doesn't look fit. He looks leggy. He looks short of what he did before. We spoke about it in the podcast this week, actually, in a little bit of detail. I said, look, the problem for Ronaldo is, and Neil made this point really, really well. I might even clip that point up and try and make it into a separate social clip. He was saying that Ronaldo's been at the top of his game for so long, being the elite best of the best for so long, that the fall for him from that height is huge. And that's going to be very, very hard for him to get his head around. Because mentally, I think he's still there. He's still the very, very best. But physically, age catches up with everyone. And that's the big thing we're seeing with Ronaldo. It's just age catching up with him. And that's just the truth. Anybody trying to shout a Ronaldo agenda at me again? I mean, the amount of abuse I've had to deal with over these last couple of months when I've been speaking about Ronaldo has been pretty insane. But I suppose that's what it is online. You've got to deal with it. Iqbal, looks like you've been gifted membership from the good man himself, Gungshi. Gungshi here, just helping this community get bigger and bigger and better. But look, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I'll tell you what. Let me get this. I'm going to bring this design up for you. I don't think we haven't hit 1,000 likes down here, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all. I still want to show you it. So I've been working on these designs for a good long time. And this is just a sneak preview of part of one of the designs that is getting made, right? There. This is going to be one of the first designs that comes out. I'm really, really looking forward to releasing it. But I think you might be able to guess who this design is going to be about. The Butcher of Manchester. That I'm looking forward. I really, really am looking forward to releasing this merchandise. It's been a long time coming here on United People's TV. Man, the channel's been going for like 7 odd years. Like 7 odd years. But this is, I think you can tell from looking at this, this merchandise won't just be a huge United People's TV logo or something like that. It's going to be something that I would consider fashionable. Something that you would know is to do with Martinez at Manchester United. But you could wear that out and it just kind of looks like a cool design. Could have bought it from ASOS. It's that sort of stuff. I'm looking forward. Look, Tyler, yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. But look, it's that's part of the design. I won't show you the full design, but I'm still working on it. I'm still working on 4 or 5 designs to open the shop with. Probably going to be doing some limited releases, stuff like that. Maybe get some green and gold stuff going as well. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. It's a big, big thing. But look, the next couple of weeks, football-wise, is going to be pretty quiet. But I'll be here every single day, Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. UK time, with a live video. I'm going to try and bring some more insightful. I'll tell you a video that is definitely coming out. I'm going to do a bit of a sort of a deep dive into Jim Ratcliffe's ownership of Nice and say, okay, right, so Jim Ratcliffe bought Nice. How's that gone? How much did he pay? What signings have they made? What have the fans said about him? What's he said in interviews about the club? What's the performance of Nice been like? What could we expect of Jim Ratcliffe as owner of Manchester United? That's a video I'm going to be doing. And it's going to be stuff like that. So if you've got any other cool ideas, fire them my way. My DMs are always open on Twitter and on Instagram. But look, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks as much as I possibly can without watching United. It is what it is. It was an international break anyway. It's just that our international break has lasted an extra week. It's annoying, isn't it? Really, really annoying. But look, I'll wrap this one up for today. I hope you like the little sneak preview there. I'm looking forward to bringing these out in proper. As I said, we're going to have, I think, between 5 and 10 designs to open the shop with. They're all going to be completely unique, completely original, and I think, and I hope, completely fashionable. That's a big, big word. Cool. I want the merch to be cool. But look, thank you all for joining in today. Gungshi, thank you very much to you and to Warren for all the gifted memberships. Look, thank you all for joining in. I love how this community continues to grow every single day. And even if there's no football, the community will still be here. So make sure you stick around. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you tomorrow. And also check out my Sheriff video. It's going out. Is it Sharif or Sheriff? I'll call it Sharif. Sheriff. That's going out at 12 o'clock today. Hold on. Or, what are you doing? There's going to be a butcher in Australia, and it's going to be your wife once she looks at your spending. You made me come back. I'm not going to miss out on that one. Oh, absolute G of the channel, man. Fucking fantastic. It really is. I was one of the very first people that sort of jumped in as one of the mods. We used to always, in the arms every week, me and all were having chats. I'm definitely going to bring the arms back, and I've said this quite a lot. I apologize I haven't done it quite yet, but I am going to bring the arms back in some way, shape, or form or capacity. But look, mate, there's 50 more of you now in here. There's 50 more members. Look at that. Sam Lewis, you've got one of them. I'm sure lots of you, all of you have just got to say thank you to whoever gifts you the membership and just become part of the community, man. As you can see, it's an extremely inclusive place. People are so happy about it and enjoy it so much. They want more to come into it. So make sure, I'll leave the link in the description now. Where is it? It's down here. There it is. This is the link to the community. If you're a member, make sure you don't follow that link if you're a member. If you're now a member, go to the community tab on YouTube. There's a special members only link in there, and you come to a special members only group chat in the Telegram community. Same goes for Facebook as well. Check the private Facebook group there too. But or I mean, whatever Orr is doing on the side, it's a good side hustle. That's all I know. Maybe he's the butcher of Australia. Or that, as I said, that'll probably be his wife when she finds out what the spending's like. Woo. But look, I'm going to leave again now. Absolutely, my word.